Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a video talking about the best items or the coolest items of 2023. So, this is not going to be knives. I covered that already. I did my best of 2023 series. We did budget, left-handed, slip joint, and premium, and then we did an overall winner. Choosing from the 4 winners of those groups, and we got the Feel Good Jack from Jack Wolf Knives that won. So that's how I did knives. Now this is gonna be EDC gear. This is just gonna be stuff, and I'm gonna talk you through it. I'm gonna have categories. It might be a long video. I'm trying to keep it short by choosing one to 2 items for each category. I do have one category that has like 4, but we'll talk about that. And yeah, I'm gonna miss stuff. There's gonna be stuff I didn't think to put in here. I can't remember everything, but I'm doing my best here. So the first thing I want to start off with, since it's bigger, is from Cavill Knives, and this is gonna be their knife case. And I wanted to include this because this was $60, so they dropped this year, and this is a $60 knife case that honestly feels like what you would get for $150 from other companies. And so you get this case. This one's yellow. I'm going to show you the black one in a second. I bought this yellow one. They sent me the black one, and I liked it so much I wanted another one for a separate set of knives. We'll talk about that in a second, but basically it has your little air pressure relief here if it's on a plane or something like that. And one thing I really like about this is the handles here are not the ones you have to like pinch and pull up, and then they get stuck all the time once they're open. You just push here and then pop. So you just push and pull, and then you'll be able to open it up. And this is my current Jack Wolf Knives collection. I think the only thing missing is my Midnight Jack. My After Hours Jack, because this just released, and I've been carrying the shit out of it. I love this knife, but there you go. And this has all my Jack Wolves in Northwoods Leatherworks slips. And they fit perfectly in the slots that you get in this Cavill case. The cool thing about this case is this is like really rubberized material, so it's tough, it's stiff, not stiff, it's rubbery, it's bouncy, right? It has that layer on top that just makes it really durable, yet you can stick your finger in there and then grab something. That's what she said. So if you have something small in there, you can kind of pinch in there and get what you need and then pull it out. With a lot of these cases, they're really stiff, like the Now Pack cutouts and stuff, and it's just hard to get something short out of there. Of course, you can stack foam to make it stand up, but anyway, it just is flexible. It works really well. Like if I needed to really shove this in like that, I can do that. And it's really good. It holds 24 knives in the case, and it's 60 bones. They just actually dropped a new one that where the knives lay flat, so they would be flat. I'm trying to get one of those, and I want to use it for my flashlights. So that's the yellow one, and then I have a black one. These little strips are removable if you don't like the orange there. And this one has all my Divo knives, prototypes and production samples and all that kind of stuff. So this is where I keep all of that. So it's just perfect for me. I have it set up to hold different collections, essentially. So that's the large item there out of the way. Just wanted to take care of that. Let me just get the camera set up here, and then we can dive into it. I want to give a shout out to Tinkerforce. So Tinkerforce makes 3D printed items like these trays. They make these kind of trays as well that you can keep on your desk just to hold bits and bobs and stuff like that. They make a tin like this. I put the patch on, but you get it with Velcro. And this holds my skiff bearings. It has little dividers. All their stuff is super affordable. And they essentially sponsor the channel because they send me these trays when I need a new one. They'll send me one. They're very kind about that. These are super affordable. Like this tray right here is like $32 or something. This is the XL EDC tray, and then it's the Lefty EDC edition because I have this bigger cutout in the middle. And that's why I wanted to give them a big shout out, because they recently made me this. And this is one of my favorite things that I own, especially for the channel. It fits right into that slot, and it holds literally everything that I use for disassemblies. So I have 2 bit drivers, 4 KPL bottles, which is one of each kind, including their dry loop, a bottle of Loctite. This will fit the skiff finger bit, and then the bearing test fit card back here. We're going to see those later. And then a super glue bottle, Q-tips, a magnet pen, and then a bunch of bits. And we're just constantly kind of improving this and tweaking it and whatever. And it's just been really fun. And they're just great people. And you guys see this tray in almost every video. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. All right, so I'm just going to kind of go through stuff and we'll talk about it. Let's talk about bit drivers. So there's 2 here that stand out to me. I'm not sure if this came out this year, but Get Good Screw is always making really cool bit drivers in different materials and different finishes and stuff. And I believe this medium size driver from them came out this year. And I don't know if the stand came out this year. I think they might have had this already. But I know the medium size driver wasn't out until this year. So it's just kind of a size difference. But it's worth noting because to me, this really solidified Get Good Screw as having maybe the best bit driver in the game, because the size now is just perfect for my hand. And I think for most people, it works extremely well. They're just super fun because they have that really nice spinner on the back, but they have really good function as well with good grip if you get the right finish for your hand. And then these little holders are awesome because they look like little revolvers and they spin like crazy. And then you can put the driver in there as well. You can get almost everything spinning at once. It's just really, really cool. They're not that expensive for what they are. I mean, if you think about it, this is crazy anodized titanium driver, stand, and everything. I think it's somewhere around $200 for the whole kit. If you get just a driver, they're right around $100, I think, to $150, depending on finish. You can also get like Zerk and crazy shit if you want that costs more, but they're very well made and everything. I'll link them down below. I do have a discount code, Lefty10. I don't have an affiliate link or anything, but they did send me this, so there's that. But yeah, this is just, it's so cool. The next one is something I picked up on Kickstarter. This is called the Striker Bit, and I feel like this thing is very underrated, and I haven't seen it much around, but it came out this year. I did a Kickstarter, like, it was probably 2 years ago I did the Kickstarter, but I'm pretty sure the actual item came in this year. The thing's still spinning over there. Now, it came, I have it, but I didn't want to dig it out. It came in a nice, soft, sort of soft hard case, one of those zipper cases you get, and it has a bunch of bits in there, and you could get different attachments. I had one that was like an elbow. It was like an L-shaped sort of Allen key that you could put on here and make this like a really big driver, but it was like there's no point to that. This goes in an EDC pouch, and the genius of it is it's so small and simplistic. And basically, you just twist this guy right here, and then you can slide out. And on this side, I have a T8. And on this side, I have a T6. So I can keep this in my pouch, and I have 2 drivers right there, 2 bits set up to go. And you could carry more bits with you if you want, and you just literally lock this down, and now you can use it as a driver. And then if you need to switch over to T8, because your knife has both, you just pop it back this way and you're good to go. And if you want, you can switch it out to whatever you want. If you have a longer bit, you can pull this back and slot that in there. I mean, there's just a lot of things you can do with it. And it's, I don't know, it's just unique and awesome. And I really like it. And it's sort of innovative in this day and age of just bit drivers with spinny things. So it is a bit driver with a spinny thing, but it's just a little bit different. So that's the striker bit. I can't remember the brand that makes this. I'll try to find it before I post this, and I'll link it down below if any of you guys are interested. I do think they made more, and I think they are available now. I think it's a British company, if I remember correctly. But there you go. That's the striker bit. The next one's going to be pens. So there's a couple of pens that really stood out to me that I got in this year. At least I'm pretty sure they were from this year. The first one is going to be from Smooth Precision Pens. Now, this is a awesome and a sad story at the same time. So I started working with Smooth Precision Pens this year, and Kelvin over there, great dude, was really good to work with. And I got to handle an absolute shit ton of their pens, and it was a pleasure. The milling on these pens is just next level. I haven't seen anybody do it like this before or after. Their pens were really cool because you can use the clip as the bolt action mechanism. And one of the biggest downsides to me with bolt action pens is you end up with a clip and a bolt, and it just takes up a lot of space. This combines the two and just makes it a really smooth feel. And this one is the jigsaw pattern in polished titanium. I probably had 20 throughout the year. I gave away, traded, sold, you know, a lot of the ones I had. I bought, you know, half of them, and they sent me half of them. I was set up on their subscription service while they were around. And unfortunately, a couple months ago, Kelvin shut the business down. I believe he sold the machines and whatnot. He just had kind of a health situation come up and decided to, you know, slow down a little bit. And I think he's trying to come back making knives at some point, which, you know, ultimately will probably prove to be harder than it seems. And I wish him best luck. Hope it happens soon, and I'm looking forward to it. But this is one of the best pens this year, if not the best pen. It's just you can't get them anymore, I don't think. You could check their website and see if they're still available, but I don't think so. Just a really, really fantastic pen I'm never going to get rid of. And then we have another really cool, innovative pen from Nottingham Tactical. Nottingham Tactical makes some really sick pens. And they came out with this not a bolt pen this year. And yeah, it's a bolt action pen, but they did it a little bit differently, I feel like. They do have a they have a plunger on it, like a clicky would have. But then it's also a very streamlined bolt action, which I appreciate. I really hate bolt action pens with a big old nubbin or whatever, or when it's like right here in the middle of the handle or whatever. It's a very minimal clip, and you know, it is pretty shallow carry, but I'll be honest, I literally never used a clip on a pen. I kind of wish some people would just start offering pens with no clips, because I literally can't remember the last time I used a pen clip. They're always just at my house or in a bag, right? But it's super fidgety to use this guy. They made left-handed and right-handed versions, which is sweet. I think this is a left-handed version. It's really tricky because some companies, they do the right-handed version to what feels honestly better left-handed. Like this feels better left-handed, going down like that. That feels better left-handed than pushing forward like that right-handed. But this is a right-handed pen. And I think this might be the left-handed not a bolt, and they go the other way. You'll see Tactile, I think, does it the opposite way too. So it just kind of depends on the company. But this is fantastic left-handed. And it's just a fun pen. And I love the ones with plungers. That was one of the things I missed about these when they got rid of the plunger. Because they used to have that too. Because it's fun to kind of push on it and then push this over to lock it in place, or, you know, when you're disengaging, you kind of push down and then slide over. So it's just kind of cool. Has really well done machining. Can't cross thread this guy. And then it has this dimpling in here. Just really, really well done. That's Nottingham Tactical, not a bolt. So we can talk about fidgets. I got my root beer here. Best root beer of... No, I'm just kidding. All right, fidgets. This is the one where I have 4. And I chose 4 because, honestly, these are like 4 of maybe 7 or 8 that I have. I don't collect fidgets anymore. I have a bunch of the NJT coins just because I collected them for a while and I love them. I don't know. But in terms of different fidgets, not a ton stuck around. And these kind of are in different categories. So we'll just go through it. My favorite one by far this year, of course, is an NJT hand power coin. He came out with the mini version of his coin this year. This is called the Mini Mount, and this one is in Zircuti, and it's got this wild pattern, and it's just super fun. It's got a lot of texture to it. I mean, it's simple. It's a haptic coin. You have needle bearings in there, and then you have 6 magnets on each side and a little pivot magnet thingy, or bearing, sorry. And then it just snaps like a boss. And you spin it around in your hand, and you annoy people and yourself. And it's just wonderful. It really is. It just has the perfect amount of snap and pull, and it just, I can't explain it to you because maybe you don't get it, but this just kind of like eases my brain. This is the fidget that just calms my brain down better than anything else, is these little haptic coins with the magnets. And so this is my favorite one. It's my favorite fidget of all time at this point. I love the Ulti coin, but the mini version it pockets better. It just feels a little better in my hand because I don't have massive hands. I have large glove-sized hands. So it's just literally perfect, and it pairs extremely well with this Lancelot leather coin slip I had made for it. I had another one I had made for the larger coin, but I gifted that to somebody recently, and I'm hoping they love it. But yeah, Lancelot Leather Joe did a great job on this coin slip, and it's just really, really well done. I've carried this fidget, this kind of combination right here, more than anything when it comes to fidgets. So that's the mini mount. And then these became popular this year, and these are the little mechanical keyboard clickies. This one's from Zero Feud and Urban EDC. This one has the Sagaha pattern on it. So Zero Feud did a bunch of these different ones. They have enter keys and double switches and all types of stuff. Derek over at Fidget Things, he also came out with a mechanical key switch called the Switch this year. I believe it's called the Switch, and that's fantastic as well. You could check that out. And then the folks over at Tinker Force, the people who make this tray I talked about earlier, they are coming out with 3D printed ones, which are very affordable and just as fidgety. So if you need the bougie factor, I get it. You're going to get titanium here and whatnot. And you can always switch these keys out as long as you get the right size. But just really, really fun. Not as pocketable as some other things because of the size, but I have carried it. But mostly it just sits at my desk, and I just hammer away at it, and it does a good job kind of calming my mind as well, distracting me or whatever. So I really enjoy these little mechanical key switches. And then on the affordable side of things, Fidget Boy launched this year, and Jason over there just has absolutely demolished all 3D printed fidget companies, in my opinion. Now, I haven't kept up amazingly well in the fidget world, but man, these just are so good. This is kind of his hallmark model. That's why I grabbed this one. I have another really cool one from a Facebook group, the Speakeasy EDC group. I forget the exact name. Sorry, guys. But it's fabulous. But this one's kind of his hallmark one because it looks like a Game Boy. It's called Fidget Boy. And it's a trackless slider. And it's just super fun. And yeah, I'm on record saying that these from him are damn near as good as the $400 sliders I had in the heyday of me being into fidgets. And those are still fabulous, what Compiform does and Modusworks does. But you can literally buy one of these for whatever it is, 30 bucks, and get away with it and save yourself all that money if you want to, right? I'm not trying to put Magnus and those guys out of business. I love them all. I'm just saying if you're on a budget or if you want to get a feel for trackless sliders and don't want to dish out the money to find out, this is the way to go. These are just, man, they're just phenomenal. And I wanted to give him a shout out because I know he's worked his ass off this year. He's come out with a ton of new designs and awesome stuff. And they're just unique and different. It's not just like, hey, here's another two sides with a magnet slapped together, you know, we'll sell it. And that's great. You know, I'm fine with people doing that. But he, you know, he really came up with some cool ideas. You know, he's got the Boo Boo Boy slider and this one and some other ones. And they just feel good and look good. And that combination is just spot on. So shout out to Fidget Boy. And the last one in the fidget category is going to be coming from Ant Design. And this is one of my favorite fidgets this year. Probably second to that NJT coin, and if anything, this is probably my favorite new product because the coin is just a small version of something that existed. This came out from Ant Design. It was a Kickstarter, and it was kind of something I signed up for on a whim because like it looks cool and it was super affordable. And that was the key with this is $109 with zirconium. So this is polished zirconium, and it was $109. They came out and they were on sale after they went on sale, and they were still $109. I don't know if they're available currently. I think they're working on a V2, and I am super excited for that. But this is called the S Nano, and you could get it with different plates. So this plate right here, you can see that little, you know, groove around there. Same thing here. So this one has crosshatch, and then the S Nano with 2 trit spots. You can get it with 5 tritium or 10 tritium spots. You can get it just no tritium spots. You could put this on both sides. It's just really customizable. This came in stainless steel for like 70 bucks and titanium for like 80 or 90 and then Zirc for 110. This is a slip that I had made by Justin over at High Grain Design, another guy who should be getting a shout out. Fantastic leather work. I have another slip here that I'm waiting on a knife to come back. And then it's going in here. But you can see the just really, really good quality in terms of his slips. But we were trying to get a slip made for this fidget, and it's really difficult. And this actually worked really well. I mean, it's not perfect because it can shake out if you have it upside down. But I've been able to carry this in pocket really no problem. I just put it in this way, and it usually stays that way. And it just looks beautiful. It's got that ghost leather with the purple there. But the way this fidget works is it's on a track, and it slides up like that. You have magnets on this plate, and you have magnets underneath here. And they obviously go together. And you just slide up. And then it's up to you how fast or slow you want to do that. It can slide straight down, right? And then back up so it doesn't stop. It doesn't have to go one way or whatever. But it obviously doesn't go left, right. It doesn't flip around like that other one I just showed you. It just goes up and down. And again, that's just one of my favorite mindless motions. When it comes to fidgets, I just want them to be mindless. That's That's the key for me. I don't want to be thinking. You know, I'm sitting there trying to work or do whatever I'm doing, and I just want to be able to mindlessly do something, whether it's snapping the coin, right, tapping the clicky, or sliding this up and down. That's why these aren't really my favorite fidgets. These are fun when I'm just trying to like sit around the house and dick around because I'm not trying to focus or whatever. And these can become mindless because you just get so good at it. But it's not necessarily my first choice. I much prefer the tracked sliders that go up and down like this, and then they can go back down like that. You can do the USB move, I call it, where you kind of pop it up, hold this, and now you have this guy sticking up like a USB drive. Then you pop that down. And it's just sexy. It's to me, has a really good haptic snap to it. It has enough snap, like it stretches out enough. It has 4 clicks. And that's perfect for me. The ones that only have 2, it's not enough for me. I need 4. So, just fantastic. S Nano, Ant Design, check it out. Let's see, what do we want to do next? Let's do multi-tools. So, there's a couple of multi-tools that came out this year that... surprisingly, I really, really like. The first one's obvious. This is the Leatherman Arc. Came out not too long ago now. I didn't test mine on coat hangers. I haven't had the need to cut coat hangers yet. So if that happens and they break or whatever, then I'll deal with it. But I haven't had that problem yet. I've been using the needle nose portion quite a bit for stuff. And then just, you know... basic stuff. The little mini driver comes in handy occasionally. The driver comes in handy occasionally. And then obviously the MagnaCut blade, which is kind of the hallmark of this, is that it has a MagnaCut blade on it. So you get a decent blade steel and you can actually flick it out of there. And then the other cool thing is it's all one-handable because it has the magnetic free series setup on here, and that's new for me. I always wanted to try a P4 and never did, so this was new to me, and I don't know. It was fun to try. I think maybe ultimately I do prefer my Charge Plus. One thing I don't like about this is how loose it is on the plier, so trying to like get something precision in there is hard. Where with the Charge, it's got a little bit of stiffness to it, so I can kind of set it to where I want. This is just kind of bouncing all over the place. But, you know, it's all give and take. And these are great. They work fine. I've had no issue. Oh, also the scissors. I've used the scissors quite a bit. And then I've also used the diamond file quite a bit for... getting burrs off of lock bars and some other stuff like that. So it just comes in handy. I always have a multi-tool right here on the recording table for disassemblies, and just this is where I do a lot of stuff with knives and other gear, and it just comes in handy a lot. So the Leatherman Arc is nice. Now it is expensive. It's like $230, $240. I would recommend a Charge Plus over this. Especially the G10 one or any of the ones with like S30V blade steel. That's plenty of blade steel, and you pay $150. And, you know, I don't think the MagnaCut is worth another $100 almost. So, just saying. And then the other one is just goofy as shit, but this technically would be a multi-tool. This is from obuy.com. I do have a code for them, Lefty10. I don't know if they still have these. Again, I'll link anything here I can down below. I didn't put this list together based on if I had a link or if it was available. I just grabbed the stuff that I truly loved this year and threw a video together. So hopefully some of this stuff is available for you guys. But this is like the OTool. I don't even know what the hell they call this thing. It just says OTool on it, and it's the Bally Fork. And it's just fun. It's almost in the fidget category I am the worst when it comes to ballast songs. I would cut myself so bad. So basically, I look at this as a bally trainer. And, you know, it's just a fork. Instead of a dull blade, you get a fork. Or instead of a bottle opener like you get with Artisan, you get a fork. And it actually does have bottle opener on each side. Maybe a can opener on one. I'm not sure what the difference is there. Super smooth. I mean, it is absolutely buttery smooth, but it's not loose in any way. And then it has a magnetic retention down here. So it doesn't just fall. I mean, it's not like strong, but it does snap together and it doesn't just leak apart. You know, you can shake it, but it won't just fall apart or anything like that. And it's, you know, it's got some tools on it. It's got a glass breaker. It's got a fork. Now, the downside to the fork is it has no curve. So, you know, I'm German. I like to hold my fork kind of weird. And I need a curve because I need it to come down and poke stuff. I don't want it to just jab like that. But in a pinch, if you just needed a utensil, shit, you have something. Then you got the bottle opener, can opener, whatever thing here, and then, you know, whatever wrenches you have there. And then you have the Bally Trainer, which is what I like about it. I just like flipping it around. It makes amazing sounds. Oops. It's like a tuning fork. So that's the OTool Bally fork thingy. Very, very cool. So next, let's talk about disassembly tools and just like random stuff in that category. I really just wanted to give a shout out to Skiff Made Blades. Skiff Workshop, actually. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Skiff bearings. My favorite. Put them in everything I can. But these two tools that go along with that from them are just amazing. These are a couple things. This one in particular that I really wanted them to come out with, and they did. And then this one, when Steve showed me this prototype for the first time, and he was kind enough to let me test his 3D printed prototypes, I fell in love with this tool right here. So this is called the Finger Bit. And this one's in aluminum. I think he actually sells 3D printed ones if you want a more affordable option. But I recommend this. I think it's 20 bucks and you get it in aluminum. And it is the single best tool when it comes to spinning barrels and pivots. So whenever you have a knife, let me find something that will help explain this. Whenever you have a knife that has a spinning barrel situation, does this have a T8 in it? Is this a T8? Yes. Okay. So let's say this spins or the pivot spins, right? See, in this case, you have a captive pivot. Not every knife does, but sometimes you're taking apart a knife and you'll start unscrewing this, and this side will just spin in place and you won't be able to get this screw out. So what you need to do is have another driver. And what a lot of people do is they take another driver and they hold it like this against it. And then they take their driver and they try to do both at once. And what you end up doing is slipping out and like jabbing everything together. Maybe you twist it like this, right? And then you're stabbing stuff and you're scratching everything. Or you just can't get enough. You know, you can't get enough grip because you're trying to hold this and this. So what we've all basically resorted to is a stubby driver, which works really well. If you get a Weehaw driver like this, you can put that in here, and then it's small enough that you can palm it and hold the frame, and then use your other driver over here, right? And that works. It does. But Skiff came out with a just genius tool. So what it does is it sits the bit really deep in here, so you just have that little bit sticking out, and then your fingers grip it like this. So you take this and you lock it in place, and then you just have so much control over everything now. And now you just go, take this out, right? Do whatever you need to do. And it works the same way on spinning pivots and it's just, it makes your life so much easier, and it really reduces the risk of scratching shit and marring shit and damaging stuff. It's just a really, really smart product. And it's $20, so it's affordable, you know, in aluminum, which is really nice. And then he came out with the test fit card. So this is so you can test your bearing size. So if you want to buy skiff bearings, but you're like, I don't know which ones to get for this knife or whatever, right? Or maybe you have skiffs and, maybe you have skiffs and you just want to make sure you're putting the right one in. So what you can do is take the stock bearing, right? Let's pretend this is the stock bearing 5mm 1/16, and you can test the thickness of the ball. So right there, 1/16, boom. So now I know this is a 1/16 ball, so I know I need that size skiff. And then your pivot, you can pop into these holes and you can tell which pivot size you have. So you just take the pivot out of the knife when you take it apart, pop it in there, you're like, okay, 5mm. So I have 5mm, 1/16, bang, and then you can buy that. And then the only thing you really need to figure out is, you know, the overall diameter of the bearings. In some cases, that matters. But yeah, these two tools are just amazing. You can get both for around $30 using my code LeftyEDC over there, or LeftyEDC, I think it is. You'll get 10% off, and it's probably $30 total for both of these with that code. And these are just amazing tools to have around. And they came out this year. All right, and then another category that has recently really become important to me is flashlights. And I want to talk about the best or coolest new production flashlight this year, and that would be from Olight, and that is the Arcfeld. The Arcfeld series of flashlights really, I think, was a really nice thing to happen to the flashlight world this year. It's just unique and different, and it just works so well. And a lot of people just love these. They're not my favorite per se, but I think they need to be acknowledged as something awesome that happened this year. So this is from Olight. I do have a link for Olight and a code, LeftyEDC. Links down below. It might be LeftyEDC, actually. I keep saying LeftyEDC, but it's LeftyEDC. It's all linked down there if you want to pick one of these up and use my code. But anyway, this is very cool. They came out with the Arcfeld. Then they came out with the Arcfeld Pro. They actually came out with one called the Arc Flex just recently as well, which is basically the same as the Arcfeld, except it has this hinge right here. It does not have dual types of emitters. Like this has laser and just regular flashlight. This just has flashlight, but it does that. And the power is the same. Output is the same. That's the Arc Flex. So this guy, you set it to whatever you want, UV, then you turn it on, then you have two UV brightnesses that you can use. What am I doing wrong here? I swear it does. Does it only have one? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Ew. It's showing nastiness on the actual thing. That's pretty funny, actually. Oh, I hate UV lights. Just hate them. So I thought there was two modes, but I guess I'm wrong. Yeah, there's just one. All right, so you just have whatever UV that is right there, brightness, and then you can switch it to laser, and now you have a green laser, which, by the way, it's not, you know, the most crazy useful thing in the world, but if you have kids or pets, this thing is insane. My kid absolutely loves this laser and just wants to chase it around the house like a cat. It's crazy. And then you can switch to just regular light mode where you will get different brightnesses. You obviously get double tap. I'm going to give you a strobe warning, double tap to strobe, and you get triple tap to turbo. Very, very cool. And you can even put the laser on, double tap, and get light and laser. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. Let me turn that down. There you go. light and laser. And then back to UV. It's just, it's got a lot of functionality in it. About 1,000 lumens. It's a very floody light, so it's not going to be for, you know, spotting things far away, but for walking the dog, you know, work light, all that kind of stuff. Extremely good. It has a magnet on the back, so you can attach it to something. It charges that way, and then it has the two-sided clip for hat carry or pocket carry. So that's the Arcfeld Pro, and the Arcfeld series is just really cool. That happened this year. Got a little grip on the side as well. Custom flashlights. So I only really have one custom flashlight that came out this year, but it's a banger, and it's one of my favorite flashlights in the collection. I've recently gone down that rabbit hole, so yeah. But this is the CWF or Charles Wiggins Flashlights Peanut, and this thing packs an absolute punch. I mean, we're talking a tiny little light, and it's got an 18350 battery in it. So you have 1,000, what do you have? 1,100 milliamp hours in this little sucker right here. I'm pretty sure it's pumping out, I don't know, 1,400 lumens. Like, it's really powerful. It's got the machining is phenomenal. And then it's got triple emitter. So you have 3 emitters, and then you have secondary lights. So right now I have it set to blue. So you have the blue secondary lights. I use these as moonlight. That's basically how I do it. So the secondary colors are my moonlight mode. And then you'll get 5%, 35, and 100. Something like that. And this thing, you know, if you get it on the higher modes and leave it on there, it's going to be cooking. I mean, it's a really small light with a lot of power. But if you hold it back here, it stays pretty cool. And that's the best hold for this is the cigar grip. You hold it like this, and then you use the tail switch, select what you want, and you're good to go. It's also very good in a tail stand. So you set it up like that, illuminates the room or whatever you need to do. I use flashlights constantly. I mean, it's not even funny how much I use flashlights. So I love them, and it's just a new thing I'm nerding out on and love. And, you know, the size on this is one of the coolest things about it. Like I said, it's tiny. It's got to be one of the smallest 18350 size lights you can get. I mean, it is not even 3 inches long. That's what she said. Just for reference, one of the best flashlights out there is the Overready Boss. This has been around for a while. This is called the Boss, which is big output, small size. And that is 3.5 almost in terms of inches. So it just goes to show you how small this thing is. And then it has Charles's new Quantum Dragon driver in it, which is cool. So not only do you have that blue light, you can switch it to red or green. So you just tap through and you get to program mode. Then you get to color select. And let's say I wanted red. Now I have red. So now every time I kick the light on, because I don't have memory on, I have a red secondary light, right? And let's say I want green instead. It's so easy to get to it, first off. Programming it is a breeze once you understand, which is easy to understand if you just, you know, use your brain. The colors really helps you with programming, I think. I think I accidentally did blue there. Had to wait a little longer. Just trying to show you. It's not rocket science. It seems like it. It really does. But we got blue. I'm going to let it blink a couple times green. There we go. So now we have green. Right? And I'm not the biggest fan of the green. I guess I'll try it out tonight and see what I think. Because I do use this as moonlight mode. Maybe the green will be easier to see. I don't know. But they all have their purpose. Like red is better because it doesn't mess up your night vision. And then blue's good because it doesn't penetrate skin, so people sleeping, it doesn't bother them. And then green, you just see green really well, right? It's just a banger of a flashlight. I love it. It's a little pricey, you know. I think these are around $550 to $600 if you get them new or whatever. There's a few places you can get them. I'll link what I can down below. But this is custom made in the U.S. Charles makes these himself in Georgia. And I mean, he even designed the driver in it, which is pretty unique for custom flashlights. And it's just a gorgeous light. So I wanted to make sure I gave him a shout out. Big clicky switch on here. And a really simple yet very, very good clip. Works really well. It's one of my favorite flashlights this year. So that's the CWF Peanut. And then the last thing I just wanted to give a big shout out to is my favorite knife this year. So I did the Knife of the Year video. And like I said, the Feel Good Jack won that. But those series of videos are for production knives. I'm not going to put custom knives in there because I just don't think that makes sense. But hands down, my favorite knife, my favorite purchase this year is the Sparrow Knife Co. Strix. So I got this left-handed, handmade, custom Strix from Greg Schaub over at Sparrow Knife Co. And this is just the coolest thing. This is in Magna Cut steel. You have a beautiful belt satin with that gorgeous hollow ground blade. Hand ground, right? Hand everything here. And I got to work with Greg, and really it was such a blast getting to know him a little bit and just talking to him and picking materials and working through the whole process. He was just amazing. And I mean, it was expensive. It was $1,700, but I think for the experience and the finished product, I mean, I would easily spend it again. And you know, the finishes and everything we went with, we have that belt satin Magna Cut. We have Black Dunes fat carbon inlays, dark titanium bolsters that has a bark pattern on it. And that bark pattern extends everywhere. I mean, you can even see it down here, which is freaking amazing. And then we have Zircuti on the clip and the back spacer that looks phenomenal. We even have that Black Dunes in the pivot, which is amazing. And then we did a rock pattern on the blade on the flats. And that even extends along the spine of the blade and all the way up to the tip. Even down here. I mean, it's just phenomenal work. And then you have just really good action on skiff bearings. Detent is money. He really dialed this thing in the way I wanted it, which is kind of the point of custom knives. I like to have a knife where it doesn't just sling shut and cut your finger off. I used to love it where it just drops shut like that, but I have this set to where it's pretty tight, and I give it a little kick or shake and then a couple of shakes down, and that's just perfect for me. I could loosen that pivot a little bit and it would free fall down, but I like it this way. And the reverse flick is just just chef's kiss. Beautiful ergonomics with that choil right there. You have a nice little landing spot for your thumb. I do use this. I've cut with it, cardboard, open packages, that kind of stuff. Not going crazy, but Greg does offer a spa service, so you know he could sharpen it for me, no problem. And yeah, this is definitely the coolest item, coolest knife that I got this year. And yeah, it's just an absolute banger. So wanted to make sure I pointed that out as well. So that is the Sparrow Strix. That's probably the overall best thing in 2023 that I got in terms of EDC. So there you go, guys. That's a bunch of stuff that I wanted to make sure I let you guys know about from this year that I absolutely love. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you guys really enjoyed this year. I'd love to hear about it. If you have a channel, make a video like this, you know. Let's see your favorite things from this year. They don't have to be knives. You can like lots of other stuff. You know, maybe there's a favorite maintenance, you know, thing that you like. Like if Knife Shield came out this year, that would be on my list. This stuff is amazing. So think about it. Make a video if you want. But hey, thank you guys for an amazing year. You've been an absolutely awesome, just part of my life. I love it. And I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will catch you later.